is going to be My September TBR. We are going to be choosing all of the books that I want to read for the month of September. I'm going to be doing this a little bit differently today. I am going to be using my brand new TBR Prompt jar. I actually got this from Michael's, and this is not even like a jar for like storing like candy or like jam or something like that. This is actually a jewelry organizer holder, and I thought this was so perfect because it actually fits my whole hand into the jar, and I can like endlessly fill this. I took the prompts out that I drew last month, so those ones aren't in here because we obviously want to draw all new ones. And I also got these really cute bookish stickers from Michael's. But also, like, I didn't think that I needed to get a glass jar because, like, one, that I don't have to worry about it falling because this is just plastic, so it's never going to break. And that was pretty much... And two, this, I couldn't find any glass jars that were as wide as this. So I thought this was absolutely perfect. So I decorated it with some bookish stickers that I also got from Michael's. This one says, "Found myself between the pages." And this one says, "Currently reading." And this one says, "I love books." It's just really, really cute. So without further ado, we are going to pick some prompts from the jar. I think I'm going to do 3 because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. I'll just explain it after we pick these prompts because I'm just super excited to do it. I'm going to pick them first, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this shelf of these books, and I think we're going to put my TBR for September starting up on this shelf, and that might be what this shelf is going to stay until October. And then October, I'm going to put all of my October Halloween books up, and I'm not going to be drawing prompts for October, so that's why I'm kind of going to split this prompt drawing in 2 different ways so we can use both of them. But I already have a designated October TBR full of thrillers and witchy books and magical spell books that I'm like super excited to read in October. But September, we have a little bit more freedom, but I also want to get to certain series and stuff like that. So let's see what we draw. So I'm just gonna shake it up really good. And I'm just gonna blindly do it. I don't know why I'm like not looking at the screen. Okay. And these aren't divided by category. They're all totally random. Like, I don't designate the papers of being any specific genres to the color, like pink for romance. I don't do that. It's all completely random. Okay, so let's see what the first prompt is. Okay, beautiful cover. That's a good one. I'm going to have to scour my library for the most beautiful cover that I have on my TBR for this month. But at least that's an easy one. Okay, cool. Sometimes I get a little nervous. I'm like, what if it's a prompt I don't want to, that I can't fit in to my schedule? Because, you know, the more books you add, the less time you have to read them all. So, all right, let's give it a good shake again. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, let's go for this side. And I just noticed I have like a cobweb up on my ceiling. Great, so we got a gray one. So let's see. Oh, okay. I don't know if I might swap this out because some people offer themselves 1 free swap per TBR prompts, but I got a duology. Not that that would be anything overwhelming, but I actually just read a duology this past month, and I do have some duologies that I own that I just haven't gotten to yet. Maybe we'll end up swapping out some books that are already on my TBR, and maybe we'll just read one duology that I've owned for a while. We'll see. We'll keep that out, obviously. Okay, so we got duology. Not bad, not bad. There was actually one that was on my TBR for this month that I thought was a duology, but then I found out it's a trilogy, so. Because I am planning on reading a series and a trilogy this month, so I don't know if I'm going to have time for a duology for like the other palette cleansers that I want to put in between and books I just really want to get to. So, we'll see. All right. I think that was a good enough shake. Okay, let's go for this one. Okay, we got a pink one. Let's see what this one says. That's really funny. So I got this prompt actually when I was like fake drawing last night just to see what I would get, because sometimes it's just fun to see what you would get. And I got book at the bottom of my TBR. So this one I think we're definitely going to do. And I think I know exactly which one I'm going to pick, because I'm actually going to read it on my Kindle. So I think that book works perfectly for this. So now I think what we're going to do is set up the way that I'm going to do the rest of this TBR. And depending on what prompts we get for that, I'm going to draw 3 from this as well. Then we'll see if we want to swap one out or pick one more, because, oh, I didn't say I'm going to draw 6. I'm going to do 3 from this like I just did, and then I'm going to do 3 from the new way that I'm doing it. And then if we decide to swap it out at the end, we can, and then see if we want to pick one more. So yeah, usually I do a bonus one. If I'm not happy with like 2 of them, then I'll pick another one, but we'll see. So yeah, let's set it up. Okay, so the way that we're going to do the rest of this, let me move back just a little bit more so you guys can actually see in the frame. I think that's okay. So I have 2 stacks in front of me of numbered envelopes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this with the random number generator, and I'm going to number the wheel 1 to 23. Let's just do, maybe we should just do a random number generator, but sometimes I think that they land on the same numbers like too often. So what I'm gonna do is do the wheel of numbers. Can I do a wheel of numbers instead? Number picker wheel. Can I just set it? Yeah, set it 1 to 23. 23. Cool. Great. Okay, so I have the number generator, and I'm going to spin it to see what envelope we get. Originally, I was going to, this is kind of like a new way of doing it, I guess. So in the smaller envelopes, I put 3 prompts in them, and in the bigger ones, I put 4. And we're just going to draw them like completely randomly, like after I pick the, after I land on the number, we're just going to pick them completely randomly after, like, just pull it out of the envelope. Originally, I bought these envelopes so I would put the books in them, because I thought that was just such a fun way of doing it. But for me, we're just going to, I thought that this would be so much like more random this way if I put the TBR prompts in the envelopes and then we just spin the wheel. So let's do the first one. Okay. So for the first number, we have 2. Okay, 2. So now we have to find it in our stack. It's literally right here, thank God. Okay, so 2. And we are just going to pick, I'm going to pick the middle one because it's 2. Maybe that will work out better. And we'll see. Okay. Enemies to lovers. Okay. I can work with that. Cool. I don't know if Shatter Me is an enemies to lovers story, but So now we're going to move 2 out of the way because we already drew that. And now we're going to spin for the next one. This is so much fun. Oh my god, I'm having such a great time. Why are TBR videos so much fun? Okay, number 7. Okay. I thought it like landed on like that same side again. So I was like, can it like go somewhere else? But we have 7. Okay. 7. It's right here. And thank God we don't have to dig too much. Okay, so since this is 7, I'm just going to pick it randomly because obviously there's not 7 prompts in here. I told you guys I put 3 in the smaller ones. Okay. Adventure. Adventure. Okay, I can either finish the book I'm currently reading on my Kindle next month because I'm literally going to be done with it very soon. I love how I picked 2 beige ones, by the way. But again, they're completely random. It's not like the colors make any difference. Okay, now we're going to do the next one. So this is the 3rd one. And it should be our final one. Okay, so it landed on a higher number this time. So we have 22. 22. Let's find 22. We got 23. These are all random because I tried to mix them up as much as possible when I was doing this. So then, like, if I put books in here, we got 22. It would be like a completely random book selection. Okay, this time I'm not going to look in the envelope. I don't think I did the first time. Okay, we got a different color. So we got a blue one. Oh, great. 2024 release. That's perfect. I already know what I'm going to read for this one, so that's awesome. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to pick the duology one because I don't have any duologies that I want to read this month specifically. I mean, I have right behind me, I have, let me not crush these, I have 6 of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, and I have Dance of Thieves and Bow of Thieves. But they just weren't on my list for this month. And I really don't have any other duologies, I think. No, I don't. So I think what we're going to do, because I think I could find... Can I find a book for the adventure prompts, though? Let me see. Depending on... Because I don't even know if I own another adventure book, so that's the thing. I don't think I have any other duologies. Let's see. September TBR. Yeah, I really don't. Well, actually, the trilogy that I'm gonna be reading kind of fulfills adventure. It's more like a pirate romance. I'm not even sure, but I might look up that one to see if that would fulfill the prompt. Okay. Wait, let's not reload it. We want to keep it on the same number it just landed on. So yeah, I'm going to swap out the duology one because the other 2 that I picked, what were they even? What were the other prompts? Where did I even put them? I'll do it after this, but I'm going to swap out that one. Okay, so let's spin it for the last one because this is just too much fun to do. Okay, we got number 3. 3. Okay. I'm happy with that. I love how I'm happy with the random numbers. But I just thought we would land on a teen number, but it's fine. Watch, probably on the bottom of the pile or some crap. But we actually got some really good prompts for this. I say that, and then we'll see what we get for the swapped one. Yeah, it's literally the 3rd to last one in this pile. Okay. Since we have a 3, we're gonna let's pick, should we do yellow or pink? Let's do yellow. Why not? Okay. This one, oh, cool. Oh, dark fantasy romance. I might just pick another prompt from the same envelope. I think I'm just going to pick the pink one. I'm still picking from this envelope. Let's see. Perfect. Give author another chance. Okay. I guess I should have picked the pink one, but I'm not cheating just because I don't really own any dark fantasy romance, and the only dark fantasy romance that I really have is Neon Gods, but I want to save that, and that's not the series that I'm going to read this month. I have a whole nother series that I want to read this month that I didn't get to last month, if you guys could guess what it is. But now I feel like the prompts that I have, like I still picked it out of the same envelope, and like I said, I was going to pick the pink one anyway. I think that's fair, but I still picked it out of this one. And that prompt actually fulfills my TBR even better. So now I have 6. Was that cheating? You know what? It's my video. I don't care. So yeah, those are the 6. I think I'm just going to stick with 6. But we might pick another one at the end. We'll see. But I'm going to now gather the books that I want to fulfill for these prompts, and I will show you guys what I pick. Okay, so I went ahead and pulled the books that I know looks so like lonely up here, but this shelf will be filled with my TBR for this month. I just didn't pick the rest out yet, but I wanted to tell you guys what books I picked for the prompts. So for the first one, for the beautiful cover, I picked The Night Ends with Fire by KX Song. I don't need to keep these in here. I just wanted to keep them in here to remember myself what I chose. Like, look at this cover, right? And the sprayed edges are so beautiful. And I'm just going to read the synopsis right now. I picked this up at BJ's, I think like a couple of weeks back. And this was actually the last book on this shelf up here with all the beautiful covers that I was featuring already. And I was like, it works perfectly because this was the last book that I featured up here that I hadn't read. Because I read all the other ones this past month, like in August. Well, this month. I read all of them except for this one. So that's actually really funny because I was in such a fantasy mood. I just went down that shelf and read all of them. So this one says, infused with magic and romance, this sweeping fantasy adventure inspired by the legend of Mulan follows a young woman determined to choose her own destiny, even if that means going against everyone she loves. Raised to obey, destined to rebel. The 3 kingdoms are at war, but Maitland's father refuses to answer the imperial draft. Trapped by his opium addiction, he plans to sell Maitland for her dowry. But when Maitland discovers her husband to be is another violent, ill-tempered man, she realizes that nothing will change for her unless she takes matters into her own hands. So, really excited for this one. Where did I put my phone? Oh, it's literally right here. So yeah, that's going to be the first one. Also, I hope it's better than Of Jade and Dragons because, spoiler alert, I didn't really like that book too much, and that also had a strong subplot of a Mulan retelling as well. So I hope it's not a repeat of it too much, but I'm also expecting this book to be a little bit more high fantasy than what Of Jade and Dragons was. Because I didn't really get that from that book either, so... And also this book has dragons in it, so I'm really excited for it. I'm still craving a good dragon book because, again, Of Jade and Dragons didn't really fulfill that. Okay, and then the second prompt was book at the bottom of my TBR. And I think I've put this book on my TBR for the past, 3 months. But now I am determined to get to this in September, and that is Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Maher. Can I speak? This is actually on Kindle Unlimited. I just wanted to grab the physical book because I do own it. I picked it up way before I was on Kindle Unlimited. I'm not like that type of person that has to own the Kindle Unlimited book if it's on Kindle. Unless I'm obsessed with the author, like Abby Jimenez, I need all of her books. But this, I was actually planning on giving this away. But I'm probably just going to read it on my Kindle. But I just wanted to tell you guys that this is the one that I choose for this prompt. Because I need to read this book. I keep on being I need to read this. So I think now is the perfect time. So I added it kind of like at the last minute to my September TBR, and now this like works perfectly for this prompt. Okay, and then the next one, I believe the next one we drew was adventure. I'm not quite sure, but whatever. And for that, the trilogy that I was going to read this month works perfectly for this prompt, and that is Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. I hope to at least read the first book this month, but I am hoping to read the trilogy, but I'm also hoping to read a whole series as well. But I'm like really in a series mood. Like I really want to read 2 series this month, so a trilogy isn't that much pressure. And I've seen this book everywhere. So this one says, there will be plenty of time for me to beat him soundly once I've gotten what I've came for. Wow. Sent on a mission to retrieve an ancient hidden map, the key to a legendary treasure trove, 17-year-old pirate captain Aloza, hopefully that's how you say her name, deliberately allows herself to be captured by her enemies, given she's giving her the perfect opportunity to search their ship. More than a match for a ruthless pirate crew, Aloza, oh my god, Caitlin, has only one thing standing between her and the map, her captor, the unexpectedly clever and unfairly attractive first mate, Raiden. But not to worry, for Aloza has a few tricks up her sleeve, and no lone pirate can stop the Daughter of the Pirate King. This sounds so good. I can't wait to read this. I've been wanting to read this before the summer is over, because ships, water, and pirates. But, yeah, I'm here all week. Okay, next one is, and this book has been on my TBR for freaking forever. And what was nice about this one, why did I put this so far into the book, is that somebody else is actually, I forget her channel name, or I forget her name, but she put this on her TBR as well, and she's like, I feel like I'm the last person that's gonna read this book, and I'm like, girl, I haven't read it either, so you're not alone. So this one was for Give Author Another Chance, and it's actually really funny because I was going to read this book this month. I'm like, maybe I should finally read it. So I'm so glad that I drew that prompt, because this was literally the book and the author that I was going to give to this prompt if I got it. So that's like crazy. Like, how does that work out sometimes, you know? Even though it was completely random. It's like, oh, that's like a sign that I really need to read this book this month. So that is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. And I think I've put this on my TBR maybe twice, and I still haven't gotten to it because, like, the 2 books that I've read from Ali Hazelwood, I really didn't like them that much. But a lot of people say that this is, like, one of their favorite books from her. They say that this series is better, like, the STEM romances are better than, like, some of her other books. But also, I had read Bride and Check and Mate, and Bride was my first book from her, and I didn't like it. And Check and Mate I liked better, but there was still I had some issues with it. So I am really excited to read this one. Hopefully I will like this one, because for some reason I keep on buying her books, but I still haven't read them yet. I'm like, oh, I think I just really want to like her. Like, I don't hate her writing. I think she's very funny, and some of the dialogue I'm literally like laughing out loud. It's just like more so lacking on some of the like character qualities or like some of the plot. So we'll see how this one is. So this one says, I think everybody knows what the synopsis of this book is at this point, but I'll just read a little blurb. So it says, when a fake relationship between scientists meets the irresistible force of attraction, it throws one woman's carefully calculated theories on love into chaos. Chaos! I'm sure it's not that deep, but I guess we'll see. And then the last one, because one of them is 2024 release, and that one hasn't come out yet, so I don't have the physical book yet, because it comes out like the middle of September. The last one is the Enemies to Lovers prompt, and I thought Shatter Me would fit perfectly because I didn't get to this last month, and now I am planning on reading the entire series this month. So I didn't just get to the first 3 books, which I planned to kind of break it up that way. I was going to start reading the first 3 books the last week of August, but that just ended up not happening because I ended up reading the rest of my summer reads this last week of August, because I thought that made more sense. But we are definitely reading this in September. I am determined to read Shatter Me in September. Again, I don't know who hasn't read this book, but some people that I watch on BookTube haven't read the series yet, so I'm not alone. And it says addictive, and wait, hold on. That's not the synopsis. Do I even need to read it though? I guess I'll read a little bit. No one knows why Juliet's touch is fatal, but the reestablishment has plans for her, plans to use her as a weapon. But Juliet has plans of her own. After a lifetime without freedom, she's finally discovering a strength to fight back for the very first time and to find a future with the one boy she thought she'd lost forever. I'm not reading the individual synopsis of each book. I'm just going to throw them on the shelf after I tell you guys what the book is that I choose for the last prompt. Where did I put it? I guess it doesn't matter because it's literally, I just don't know where I put it. And it doesn't really, oh, it's right here. No, that's a beautiful cover. Maybe it is up here. Oh, it's right here. Duh. Because I put the other one over there for some reason. And the last one was 2024 release. I might just put this back into the TBR jar because I'm going to be reading 2024 releases for the rest of the year when they come out. But I don't know. I don't know if I really need a prompt for it because I might just keep it out because I plan on reading those books as they come out anyway. So, okay, so for my 2024 release pick, yeah, I think that's the only 2024 release that I have. Besides one other one, which I think came out in July, but I was going to read that anyway before the summer's over. But we'll see what this shelf is looking like after this. But my 2024 release pick is Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. I think I mentioned this book last month, but I'm 100% reading this as soon as it comes out. I really enjoy Lynn Painter's books, and I've actually been really looking forward to this one. This is actually one of my most anticipated releases this year. So this is the sequel to Better Than the Movies, and if you don't know, Better Than the Movies is a really, really popular book. A lot of people adore that book. I really like that book as well. So this one says, in the highly anticipated sequel, Wes and Liz struggle to balance their feelings for each other with the growing pains of being a college student. For a few beautiful months, Wes has his dream girl, strong-willed girl next door Liz. Girl next door, can I speak? But right as the two were about to set off to UCLA to start their freshman year together, tragedy struck. Wes was left dealing with the fallout, which ultimately meant losing Liz in the process. I'm not gonna read anymore because I feel like that's already too spoilery, so that's what happens. Basically they're in college now. So, okay. So let's just tell you guys, well, we're going to just pull the rest of Shatter Me right now because that's obviously going to be on my TBR. So we are just going to add the rest of Shatter Me to the shelf. I'm not scared or nervous at all. Why is it so intimidating to see like an unread full series? It's because it is, but we're gonna do it. Or we're gonna try and get as close to finishing this series as possible, but we're doing it. And I am planning on still concentrating on my physical TBR for September and October. Again, my October one is already set, but Shatter Me is going right here. And then we are also adding the other 2 books in the Daughter of the Pirate King trilogy. So we have Daughter of the Siren Queen and we have Vengeance of the Pirate Queen. I think this one just came out recently. And they also updated the covers. So funny story about these. I have 3 different covers for these. So for the first one I showed you, I have the old cover. And then they had recently updated the covers, and the second one they had available in paperback, and I think this one's not available in um paperback because it just came out, I'm pretty sure. But it had the sprayed edges, so I'm like, I can't not get it, and it kind of looks cute together. So this one says, my father's ships will be at the Siren's mercy. We will be the ones to reach the island first and claim its treasure for ourselves. That's all I'm going to say because, again, I don't want to read spoilers. I hate when the synopsis has way too many spoilers. So I'm going to put this one here. And then the last one says, Vengeance of the Pirate Queen. I swing my sword as I run, freeing sailors left and right. I stomp on tentacles, stunning them for a time. Oh my god, this sounds so much fun. I've heard nothing but great things about this trilogy. And I also really just want to get to Trisha Levenseller's books because I actually own 2 of her other ones that I'm not going to read this month, so I do want to read her writings. I haven't read any of her books yet. I stomp on tentacles, stunning them for a time, allowing other members of the crew to step in. Soon the deck is covered with sticky black blood. When I reach the mainmast, Kieran is already there, a path of destruction behind him. We've met in the middle, each of us panting and filthy. It is utterly bizarre how I attune to him. I feel in this moment, but I don't question it. A fight is happening, and instinct drives us both. Okay. Oh my god, the map is so pretty inside. I just wanted to see what the inside book looked like. That's really pretty too, actually. I mean, it's a pirate sign, but I don't know. I think that they did a good job with this edition, so I'm here for it. So we're definitely adding that. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But again, we're reading Assistant to the Villain on Kindle Unlimited. I'm just going to keep it here for now. Okay, and then we're going to add the rest of the books that I have on my TBR for this month. It's going to be a lot, but it's kind of going to be a lot. So the next 2 books are going to be 2 romances because I still want palette cleansers in between. So the next one I'm going to put on my TBR, and I feel like everybody's putting this on their TBR for this month, but I have Just Last Night by Mahari McFarlane. I actually wanted to read this last month, but I just, again, didn't end up getting to it. And I've been interested in reading this author since Haley Pham mentioned this book, and she loved it. I picked it up maybe like 2 weeks after she read it. And then she read 2 of her other books recently, and she has rated all of her books 5 stars. So now I'm really interested in reading this book, and I'm 100% getting to this book this month. Again, if we don't get to the beautiful cover prompts, that's just what's just going to end up happening because that book wasn't originally on my TBR, but like everything else was on my TBR for this month. But again, we're going to try. So this one says, Eve, Justin, Susie, and Ed have been friends since they were teenagers. Now in their 30s, the 4 of them are as close as ever. Thursday night bar trivia is sacred, and Eve is still secretly in love with Ed. Maybe she should have moved on by now, but she can't stop thinking about what could have been, and she knows Ed still thinks about it too. But then in an instant, their lives are changed forever. So that's all I'm going to read. But again, I'm super excited for this one, and I feel like I'm not the only one that has this on my TBR for this month. Okay, and then the next one, I don't know if I want to put this on, but I think I'm going to. I've been working on reading this author's backlist, and I read another one of her books this past month, but it was one of my prompts for the month, and I did end up really liking it. But the next one I'm going to add is Catherine Center's How to Walk Away. I just picked this up a couple weeks back as well from my local bookstore, and it was only like $6. But also, like, again, I am working on her backlist, but also this book is actually on Kindle Unlimited as well, so I might possibly read this on Kindle as well. So that'll still give me 2 Kindle books to read, but also, like, I kind of want to read this physical copy because her books are just so easy to read and get through. So this one says, Margaret Jacobson is about to step into the bright future she's worked so hard and so long for. a new dream job, a fiance she adores, and the promise of a picture-perfect life just around the corner. Then suddenly, on what should have been one of the happiest days of her life, everything she worked for is taken away in a brief, tumultuous moment. I'm just really excited to read this. So whenever I'm not feeling a series, then I'm just going to read one of those books. So, and I always know her books are good. So she's just become a reliable author at this point. And what else do I have? I only have like, I think 4 more. 1, 2, 3. Actually, it's just 3. No, 4. Can you count, Caitlin? And most of them are in my drawer, but I'm going to take out the last one out of my shelf because I know this one is going to be hopefully read in September. But the next one I want to add is Lovely War by Julie Berry. Usually I get through about 15 physical books a month, so some might call this overly ambitious, but at the same time, it's kind of fun just to see what I can get through. But everyone has been raving about this book, and I really do want to read this month. I feel like if I read it in September, that's kind of like the best time to read it. It's also really floppy, and even though it looks long, the font is actually, like, again, really big. So this one says, in the perilous days of World Wars I and II, the gods held the fates and the hearts of 4 mortals in their hands. It just sounds so amazing. And everybody I've seen read this book have given it like 5 stars. Like there's really like no negative reviews of this, or most of the reviews are overwhelmingly positive. And it's just like such a pretty cover. I almost picked this for the beautiful cover prompt because it is a really beautiful cover, but I just really want to get to this month. So we're going to put that there. And then the other 3 I'm just going to grab from my drawer really quick because they're in my unread drawer of books. Okay, and then I pulled the last 3 books that I do want to add to my TBR this month. The first one is The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. I think I've added this like twice already, but again, I feel like this is a book that everybody's adding to their September TBR, so I feel like I definitely want to get to this book. This is probably going to be the first book that I read in September because it's extremely short and it just sounds like such a fun, unique story. And this one and Just Last Night, I feel like everybody's putting on their TBR, so I kind of want to read both of them as like the same time as other people are reading them because it's fun, because it's kind of like a buddy read that's not really official. It's just kind of fun to be involved. So yeah, I'm going to put this on my TBR. And it just says, years ago, a reclusive mega best-selling author quit writing under mysterious circumstances. Suddenly, he resurfaces with a brand new book and a one-of-a-kind competition, offering a prize that will change the winner's life. This just sounds so good that I think it's going to be the first book that I read. I'm going to adjust all of this after, just to show you guys the reorganization. And then the last 2 are actually books that I got in my books of the month. Let me show this one first, because this one I want to read before the summer is over. I don't know if this is necessarily a summer read, but I also kind of wanted to read it in September. I don't know why. But this one is called The Wedding People by Allison Espach. I don't know how to say that name. Probably butchering it. But I heard about this book on a channel that I don't really watch normally. So this one says, a propulsive and uncommonly wise novel about one unexpected wedding guest and the surprise people who help her start anew. It's a beautiful day in Newport, Rhode Island when Phoebe Stone arrives at the Grand Cornwall Inn wearing a green dress and gold heels, not a bag in sight alone. She's immediately mistaken by everyone in the lobby for one of the wedding people, but she's actually the only guest at the Cornwall who isn't here for the big event. I've heard that this is really good, so I'm just like super intrigued on it. So we're going to add that. And then the last one, if you didn't already see from the spine, this is an extremely popular book this year. And this author, like, everybody says that she's so amazing. So we're going to add my very first Kristen Hanna book, which is The Women. And I got this as my add-on in my book of the month when I got The Wedding People. I actually didn't get a book of the month this month. I actually chose to redeem an audiobook credit for When the Moon Hatched, because now I have a free credit that I could use for an audiobook. And I was like, hell yeah. So now I can listen to that whenever I decide to. But this one I definitely wanted to add for the month of August when I got my books of the month. I was like, I'm definitely getting The Women. And I'm so excited. I've been so tempted to buy her other books, but I'm like, no, Caitlin. I really just wanted my first book from her to be The Women. I don't know why. It's just like the one I was drawn to the most, I guess. But I also am kind of scared that I'm going to cry like every time I read one of her books, because that's what everybody says, is that they're so emotionally impacting that I feel like I'm not going to be able to not cry. So it says, The Women, at once an intimate portrait of a coming of age in a dangerous time and an epic tale of a nation divided. Women can be heroes. When 20-year-old nursing student Frances Frankie McGrath hears the words, it is a revelation. Raised in the sun-drenched, idyllic world of Southern California and sheltered by her conservative parents, she has prided herself on doing the right thing. But in 1965, the world is changing, and she suddenly dares to imagine a different future for herself. When her brother ships out to serve in Vietnam, she joins the Army Nurse Corps and follows his path. Sometimes I want to read more of the synopsis, though, because honestly, this is like the first time I'm reading the synopsis, because like I used to be one of those people that I was like, no, I'm going to read the synopsis first, and now it's like, no, I'm just going to pick up books that everybody like seems to universally love, or if I love the cover. I know, I'm one of those cover buy people sometimes, but sometimes I do read, a couple lines of the synopsis, and then if it sounds interesting enough, then I'll still buy it. I feel like I should have done that for Of Jane and Dragons, but what are you going to do? But yeah, I'm super excited to add this as well. So I think that should be my full TBR for this month. Yeah, that's all the books that I want to read this month. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It's a little overly ambitious, but like I said, I think 2 of them are on Kindle Unlimited. Assistant to the Villain and How to Walk Away. So I might just make those Kindle Unlimited, or like I said, I might just make Assistant to the Villain a Kindle Unlimited pick. And also my audio pick for the month, audiobook pick, is Taming 7 by Chloe Walsh, because I'm about to finish Redeeming 6 probably tomorrow. I think I have like 1 more hour left. But I am definitely going to be listening to the last book that is out in the Boys of Tommen series, and also it's a 2024 release, which is great. So it also fulfills that prompt as well. But this came out back in April, but I have been slowly, catching up to read this book because I've been listening to the Boys of Tommen series over the past couple of months, and I'm absolutely in love with this series. I think it's absolutely amazing. You'll hear about Redeeming 6 in my wrap-up video, but I think that this series is 100,000% worth the hype. But I've also heard that this one is not as good as the first 4, because like literally I'm already giving Redeeming 6 5 stars. Like I love it so much, and also like I usually post my TBR after my wrap-up, or maybe before, but it doesn't really matter. I love that series anyway. But I'm definitely going to be listening to this one in the month of September. This one says, I'm not going to read the synopsis because I feel like, again, these are too spoilery. But basically, if you've read the series, this is Gypsy and Claire's story. And if you guys are fans of the series, or if you guys have read it and you've listened to the audio, like, trust me, the audiobooks are so amazing. The voice actors for Johnny and Shannon, they're also the same voice actors as for Joey and Aoife in the 3rd and 4th books, and they're amazing. I love them. But Gypsy is, if you've read these books, Gypsy is my all-time favorite character. Like, he's by far my favorite character and like one of my favorite book characters of all time. He is freaking hysterical. And I love that like Chloe Walsh like puts like gypsy parts into like really like right after like really devastating things that have happened. Did I put it on battery saving mode? Because like the screen is going dark really fast. I clicked like the wrong button, but it doesn't really matter. Um, so I can't wait to hear his story, but I've also heard mixed things about this book. So yeah, that is my September TBR. So now we're gonna rearrange and we're gonna show you guys at the end. Okay, so this is how my my TBR shelf is now organized. I'm getting really hot and it's kind of late. It's almost 11:30, so we need to take a shower and get into bed and read some more, but I like organizing them by height and also by series and then by genre and then by height again. But I really like how it looks when it's by height, and I kind of like putting the series first. So this is my September TBR, and I'm really, really excited about this one. I know I say that every month, but I'm actually extremely excited for this month. I think that this is going to be a really, really good reading month for me, because even though I said that in August because it was my birthday month, I didn't love all the books I read. I found some really, really great books, but nothing I'm like completely obsessed with. So I think this, we might have some 5 stars. I don't want to jinx it, but I think this is going to be a really good one. So yeah, let me know if you guys have read any of these books and what you think of them. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at CPW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. And if you guys didn't know, like I said, I did rearrange my shelves recently. So now I'm actually really happy that this is now my TBR shelf, because I felt like I couldn't keep those books there for forever. So now we're going to have to do kind of some rearranging again, but it's always so much fun. And I think I'm just going to put on Redeeming Six and just listen to that some more while I'm rearranging. So we're still reading. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and keep reading, and let me know what you guys are reading this month. Bye! Okay, so hey guys, so I know this is like later and I'm in bed and I'm about to read some more. But I kind of rewatched some of my video and then I realized that I forgot to say some things. So, because I always do this, I always come back and I'm like, oh, I forgot to say like 5 different things. So one, I moved the Furby and the burrito up to the first shelf, and I put like 2 other things on top of my ACOTAR shelf, on top of my ACOTAR stack. Oh my god. But I just put the Furby mug and the burrito up there as like a placeholder for now, so, cause like I don't like empty space. I'm just like that type of person. I like, and also I want to utilize the shelf. I don't want to keep that completely empty. But anyway, what I used to do with my TBR shelf, I don't know why I'm doing this, like you guys can't see. What I used to do with my TBR shelf is that I would move each book that I read to the right side and like slide down like whatever's in between and keep the unread books on the left side still. So I'll, slide it down to the right side as we, read more books in the month of September. And also, what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, about the TBR prompt. I'm going to give myself a little bit more wiggle room. If I do want to swap out a prompt, I'm going to give myself more so of like a free choice. Like if I draw another prompt I don't like, it was still in that envelope. So then I just drew another one from the same envelope. And that's like it's not cheating. Like I still want to pick all these prompts at some point. But honestly, I think it was funny that I ended up drawing, like I said, that exact prompt that I really wanted to get, just so it could push me to read Love Hypothesis. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to consider that cheating because, again, this is like completely random still. And I thought that was such a fun way to do it. I don't know if anybody's ever done it that way, but maybe it'll catch on. Who knows? But I thought that was just such a fun way to do it. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, also, Vengeance at the Pirate Queen didn't come out this year. It came out in November of 2023 last year. So I don't know if there's a paperback available, but we'll find out. I think that was it. Yeah. Those are like the three main things I wanted to cover. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. So I'm back again. And I just forgot to say, like, literally 2 more things. I am going to be adding 2 2024 releases that literally come out tomorrow. Today is September 2nd. And I forgot that I wanted to mention this when I was filming my TBR. But also I didn't really want to overwhelm myself. But also, like, I do want to read these books when they come out. So I am going to be adding both of these to my TBR. And I'm pretty much intending on reading both of them when they come out. So the first one, let me just pull this one up. So the first one I actually just got because my Barnes & Noble that I just went to had this a day early. And I basically just got this one so I could, not pay $20 for it because I actually exchanged it because I took back Happiness for Beginners and Beautiful Villain. I just felt like Happiness for Beginners was a little bit too expensive, but this was also $20, but I also exchanged that one for this one. So didn't really pay for it, but I knew I was going to read this and pick this up as soon as it came out. So this actually was available a day early, and I'm literally going to start this tonight as soon as I finish the Wishing Game because I started the Wishing Game yesterday already. So we have Primetime Romance by Kate Robb. So I just picked this up. And if you guys don't know, Kate Robb wrote her first romance novel back in, like, I'm not sure when This Spells Love came out last year. It might have came out at the same time as this one did. And I read that last year. Actually, no, I didn't read that last year. I read it, like, back in February. Pretty much, like, right after I had read ACOTAR, I read that book because I needed, like, just a light, fluffy romance after reading Sarah J. Maas, literally, like, the first month and a half of the year. So I just picked up her brand new book, and I was super excited for this. I'm literally just going to put this right on my nightstand, and I'm literally going to start this tonight. So I'm super excited for this because I knew I wanted to pick this up. It's only 305 pages. I love her super short books. I think This Spells Love was only like 310, 315 maybe. And I loved that book so much, so I was very excited that her next romance was finally coming out this month. I was very interested as to when it was coming out, so super excited for this. So I'm definitely reading that, and that already counts as a 2024 release. And then the second one, which actually comes out tomorrow, like Primetime Romance, they were both supposed to come out on the same day, but my Barnes & Noble had that one a little bit early. Sometimes they can put it out like a day early or like a couple days early sometimes, but the next one is Matt Haig's The Life Impossible, and Goodreads has been mentioning this like all year as being like one of the most anticipated reads. And if you guys don't know, Matt Haig was literally the author that got me back into even being a reader, because honestly, before this, I was not a reader because I always struggled with ADD. And I just always struggled with focusing on reading and reading books in general. I just hated it. I really did not enjoy reading. And now the more and more I read, the more and more I love it. And his new book is coming out tomorrow. And I've read 3 of his books, but I actually have not read any of his books this year because I've gotten into so many other authors this year. but I really do want to read his new release. So it's called The Life Impossible. I've read The Radleys, The Midnight Library, and How to Stop Time from him. So this would be my 4th book from him, and I know this book is going to be amazing. Maybe I should read the synopsises of both of these to you guys. I forgot to do that. So Primetime Romance says, a young divorcee finds herself in the ideal world of her favorite 2000s teen soap in the second chance whimsical romantic comedy from the author of This Spells Love. Newly divorced and about to celebrate her 13th birthday, Bryn is sick of heartbreak. She thought she had found her happy ending, but now she's living with her roommate Josh to afford her mortgage, and she's trying to adjust to her new single life. At least she's got her beloved 2000s teenage soap, Carson's Cove, to binge. The series ends unexpectedly on a cliffhanger after 5 seasons, and the 2 main characters, Sloane and Spencer, never got to declare their love for each other. The show is still perfect in Bryn's eyes, despite all the drama that goes down. Things always have a way of working out in Carson's Cove, unlike her own life. Oh my god, this sounds so good. How long was my Siri on for? The show is still perfect in Bryn's eyes, despite all the drama that goes down. Things always have a way of working out in Carson's Cove, unlike her own life. I don't know how much you heard of that, but basically the show, like, abruptly ends on a cliffhanger, but she still loves it, but then she needs to, like, find out what happens, I guess, and then they wake up in the TV show, because Kate Robb is very into magical realism, just like Ashley Poston. So I feel like if you like Ashley Poston and you love the 7-Year Slip, I would suggest trying out Kate Robb, because I feel like I've loved all of their books, and I feel like they're very similar in the vibes. So I don't think you could go wrong with Kate Robb if you really like Ashley Poston. It's like romance magical realism. Okay, and then The Life Impossible says, what looks like magic is simply a part of life we don't understand yet. When retired math teacher Grace Winters is left a rundown house on a Mediterranean island, by a long-lost friend, curiosity gets the better of her. She arrives in Ibiza with a one-way ticket, no guidebook, and no plan. Among the rugged hills and golden beaches on the island, Grace searches for answers about her friend's life and how it ended. What she uncovers is stranger than she could have dreamed. But to dive into this impossible truth, Grace must first come to terms with her past. Filled with wonder and wild adventure, this is a story of hope and the life-changing power of a new beginning. I just love his book so much. And he's like very like fantasy, magical realism stories as well, and I just love the fantasy elements to his books. I just feel like he's created a genre all his own in his books, because I don't find anybody else's books are really as unique as the way that he tells his stories. I just love them so much. The Midnight Library has sold 9 million copies, which is insane. And I loved that book so much. I think when I read it, it said 6 million, and now it's 9 million. And I read that last October. I love that book so much. And that book is so short. It's only 288 pages, and that book just like sticks with me so much. I absolutely love it. And for such a short book to have such a big impact on so many people, I think that's why so many people love it, is that it's so easily digestible and it's so good. So yeah, I'm super excited to read that book as well. So I just wanted to say I was going to add those 2 books. So now I said bye.